Hi, and welcome. It's Thursday, March the 3rd. I've just finished grading your first research papers. Thank you for your patience. I always try to take my time on the first one because I want to make enough comments on it so that you can continue to improve as the semester goes along. So, the first thing you need to do is to go back to where you turned it in, go back under the under the assignments tab, click on research paper number 1, and then click View Submit, and it'll pull up your paper along with my comments. Now, there are both general comments and specific comments. The specific comments are going to be in the little blue bubble, and I think you have to click over those or mouse over those for those to open up. But the general comments on my screen are on the right-hand side. On yours, they may scroll along the bottom. But look at those comments. If you're not clear, if you're not sure what I'm trying to tell you there, please ask. I want to be sure that you're understanding what I'm suggesting to you, because your next paper counts a lot of points and I want you to do well. Okay, looking at the papers, a lot of papers have their own individual identities, their own individual mistakes, but in trying to categorize the mistakes, I find that most of the major errors fall into 3 categories. First of all, you have to read the assignment. You got to follow the assignment sheet. I've given it there to you. I suggested you print it out. And so, yeah, follow it and do what it says. Be sure you get the minimum word count. It's only 700 words. Don't retell the story. We know what happened to the story. We're just asking for your explanation of one aspect of it. And, of course, you had to choose one of the 4 topics. But once you've chosen one of the 4 topics, you have to follow it. If you write on anything other than the assigned topic, of course, papers written off topic receive a 0, you know that. But anyway, so let's say, for example, you decide to write about Polonius, specifically the character changes in Polonius. That's a great topic, a lot of good examples. But be sure your thesis, which is the last sentence of the introduction and is the main idea of your paper, reflects that topic. And I'm perfectly happy for you to use my exact words. There are several important character changes in Polonius. Use synonyms if you want to. The character of Polonius evolves or transforms or whatever. But you've got to stick to that idea. And then every paragraph needs to show one aspect of how that character changes or evolves. Okay, so read the assignment sheet carefully, stick to the topic. Secondly, didn't see this a lot, but there were a couple of examples of people, well, several, of people who didn't really understand the play. Maybe read it but didn't read it carefully, maybe thought they understood it or didn't really understand it, maybe watched a movie version which differed from the play that Shakespeare wrote. So be sure that you understand the source material well enough to explain it to somebody else. Of course, you want to group similar ideas together. Essay structure was a bit of a problem. If your topic sentence says Polonius was silly, then every example in that paragraph needs to talk about or explain how Polonius was silly. Finally, proofread carefully. You had more than 3 weeks to work on this paper. That should be more than enough time to write the paper and then go back and get rid of all the little careless mistakes. No one's perfect. When I write a paper, the first draft often has lots of really silly, really goofy, obvious grammar mistakes. But I try to take the time to go back and find and fix all those mistakes. And when you've got enough time like you did, then you want to be sure and do that. Paper which has too many mistakes is simply unreadable and certainly isn't college level material. So proofread carefully, follow the assignment, be sure you understand the source material. Also, and I made this comment a lot, look at the sample paper provided. There were so many little mistakes about the heading or the in-text citation or the works cited page, which if you had just pulled up that sample paper, could have been answered in an instant. So use the resources you're provided. Watch the videos, look at the sample paper, read the assignment sheet. Okay, you also have posted for you the assignment sheet for the second research project, the R2 project, and you'll notice that this one comes in stages. The first stage, of course, is the rough draft. Now, on the rough draft, all I'm looking for is just mass quantities of ideas. I want lots and lots of ideas about your topic. I recommend you start with some preliminary, some basic research, Wikipedia, a quick Google search, ask your friends, ask your parents, talk to your neighbors, just however, you just want a whole bunch of ideas about this specific topic. supply chain issues, commercial space industry, remote learning in public schools. Just gather lots and lots of information. Now, you probably won't use most of these sources in your final paper because toward the end, when we're doing the academic research, we're going to evaluate our sources carefully, and those original sources may not help you other than help you understand the topic in general. But that's good. That's what you want right now. So on March the 24th, you're going to turn into me a rough draft. Spelling, grammar, punctuation don't really matter. Even essay structure, not so much, although it will really help you a lot, and me, to group your ideas together. Okay? Then the outline is due Thursday, April 14th. I'll have a separate assignment sheet and a sample of that for you. I'll also post up a sample of the rough draft. And then the final draft is due Thursday, April the 28th. This all boils down to one simple point. Don't wait on this project. I know that April 28th sounds like a long way away, but it's not. It'll be here before you know it. Get started now. Work through the process. Follow the steps of writing a good college-level scholarly research paper, and do your best. This project's worth 300 points. It can really lift your grade up if you're struggling, or it can really weigh it down even if you're doing well. So, and of course, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Now, when you email me, you're going to want to start a new email. Don't hit reply, because when I send out emails, they come from a source called do not reply at Blackboard. When you reply to a source that says do not reply, I get it. I actually receive it, but it kind of goes into a folder that I don't look at, or it ends up at the bottom of my email queue, especially if I'm looking at my phone. I generally just don't see those. So start a new email, tell me which class you're in, and I'll get back to you just as quick as I possibly can. I want you guys to be successful this semester. If you have any questions at all, please ask.